the efforts we've done.
Please proceed.
I will start maybe with the item number 2, which is the 16 billion. The makeup of that 147 has been broken down.
I have seen the breakdown.
Okay.
But this is not what amounts to showing us the efforts. I have read this. The efforts are not attached. Do you have anything in your appendices to show us these efforts you've talked about? We're going to look at each and every one of them.
Chair, if you allow me, I can mention the effort and then
In the evidence?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
On the 16 billion for FADSALT, we've won the case. We are now on following up on the...
Why are you starting with number 2? Let's go systematically.
Okay. The 87 billion for that was due at the time of audit that was related to UMEME was mainly because 64 billion had not been paid by UMEME because government agencies had not paid these amounts. We have had correspondences with UMEME. Now that they have even left, we are in that transition of closing the outstanding amounts. They have indicated that these amounts...
Now that they have left, you are in that transition.
Yes.
Where is UMEME now? They having left.
Okay, leaving is in terms of not doing their work, but they still have an office here. We even had a meeting, I think, this week or on Monday, negotiating the outstanding balances, because their claim is that they were not fully paid by government. They want to resolve the issue which is on the other side, but we have a separate agreement with them, and we're enforcing that to say you need to pay us. So these negotiations are ongoing.
Okay. You have an agreement with UMEME?
Yes.
You have a copy with you
The
here?
power sales agreement.
Yes. Do you have a copy with you here?
No, we didn't carry it.
What does it provide on recovery of outstanding amounts? Does it relate to what they are owed elsewhere? Does it provide for withholding your money because they are owed money elsewhere?
For this particular one, for MDS, yes, it provides, but since I came with the team, let me also request...
Do you have a copy of the parcel agreement?
Yes, we have. We can provide that.
Can you send somebody to bring it now?
Okay.
Who is going? You want to see somebody going to pick it or to call somebody to bring it? Oh, yeah, sure. That's very good. So, Mr. Captain, to get to seed the ground to your experts, well, it is a very perfect thing. Who is that one?
Chair, the head of commercial and our company secretary have details of these contracts, and that is their remit in terms of when we are negotiating the contract. So I would ask...
Stella Watanga?
I will ask the head of commercial here.
Commercial is doing simultaneous. You've sent for somebody. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Chair, through the CEO, the contract we have with UMEME allows UMEME to withhold our payment in case of non-payment of the power bills by MDS. Yes. And UMEME submitted a statement of outstanding bills to the PSST. And if you look at that statement, which we will provide, you'll find that Ministry of Defense has an outstanding bill of 157 billion.
Defense, 157. Just a minute. 157 billion?
Yes, that was 157 billion. So that's the biggest, the bulk of it. So they wrote to us a notice to offset the 64 billion, and that's the amount you're indicating that, and it's provided for within the contract. Yes.
So
But
the
being-
unfortunate thing is that you did not attach a schedule of those MDS. Procedure, Honorable Tungo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair, now that you have guided that they should provide. You have guided, isn't it procedure right that they can also provide the power sales agreements with these companies like that of Kenya, that of Tanzania, that of Rwanda, that of Congo, so that we can.
Okay. Yes, let me guide on that. Yes, Honorable Mali.
Mine goes to the CEO. Why did you enter into an agreement where you ask someone to retain your money that you have distributed, but then someone is retaining your money because where he has sold the power, they have not paid him? Why did you come out with such an agreement? And yet for you have done your part, you have transmitted. So someone is selling on your behalf, and you sign an agreement of not forcing him to pay your money, and yet you have transmitted already.
I think let me guide on the first one of Honorable Alan Mayanja. I think you can still provide those sale agreements with this. Okay, let someone deliver as we proceed. That's okay. Do you have an answer to Honorable Pindi Bumali's question? You're bad negotiators. I think that's the implication he's saying.
Okay. I would say that when we are going into these power sales agreements, there is a negotiation process. And because of that negotiation, the grounds that Umeme provided, much even before they listed, you wouldn't have wanted to bring down the operations of Umeme because the distribution would also have a problem. So if there was a component, it was only reasonable that you could meet halfway and say, for those MDAs, since there is no prepayment, we can accept that we will be paid when they pay. And then we push from the Minister of Energy and Minister of Finance to make sure these payments are made. But it's an understanding of meeting each other halfway in terms of this negotiation, as the chair has said. And if you consider that in a year we sell power close to 1.5 trillion and the outstanding amount is only 64 billion, you can clearly say in terms of business that we have not done very badly in this area.
Actually, you've done very badly because to us 64 billion is a lot. If we don't give it to you at some point, you say, oh, there is a huge of over 64 billion. It is also a lot of money, especially if the person you're collecting it is able to pay it. So we do not allow a coin. That's why when you come here, you account for each and every coin. We will get to that level. I think I can only say that the nature of supply is a specialized one, that not so many people would be in a position. If I went in your position, I would say not so many people would be in a position to offer, especially at the time. But we shall look at the agreement. We shall also look at those defaulters, why they are defaulting. If we are the problem, we will also sort ourselves out, because I believe we give them money for that. Do you have any evidence of communications between you and Umeme trying to enforce this date? That's why I was telling you the omission to attach. That one we can give you up to Friday to submit the exchanges in support of one. Data number 2, FADSAT. You have won the case. Congratulations. We want to look at evidence. When did you win the case?
I will request my company secretary to give more details on this.
Yes, when you filed the suit, when the decision was rendered under civil suit number what, on the evidence of the judgment, and when it was delivered.
Thank you, Chair. And we got the judgment in our favor sometime last year, November. Chair, with your permission, I would request that you allow us to get a copy of the judgment, and then it will have the information on when the suit was filed and when the judgment was got. But we got judgment sometime last year, November, in our favor, and court awarded us about 40 billion shillings, inclusive of interest. About 40 billion shillings, and we've been having meetings with the Attorney General and with FUD cells with a view to recover this amount. The recovery process is ongoing, Chair. That's what I can say for now. But with your permission, we will get you all the copies of the documents you've requested.
I would demand that before you came, you went through this document and you should have had answers. But when you say, I'm not sure, maybe the other week, maybe we are not going to leave these queries. So the best would have been that, as the chair is saying, please have an evidence on what you are doing. Then we'll put it on record to resolve the query. Otherwise, the statements you are making, the excuses you are giving, you are not solving the problem. So my request, Chair, through you, that they should be honest to us and you say, this is what we are doing, this is what we cannot do. Can you help us? Where can you have a solution for this? Otherwise, when you become offensive and you say, I'm just going to give you an answer just to either go away or the queries will stand. So be sincere at us. Where you cannot say, here we have failed or we are doing this, that we know that there is something happening. Chair, just wanted to give that as a word of caution.
Thank you very much.
Has been put in place to recover this money based on what the company secretary has just told us, that they had a meeting with lawyers just yesterday. And yet, she knows very well the company has closed. There are other people who can even
Attach before you.
attach before you do. And you just had a meeting yesterday for something that happened in November last year. So I just want to let her know that this is under your docket. If anything happens, you will be reliable.
I think you're not the concerns. Locked up, that one, law counsel is attacking anytime. Similarly, for these players in your field, you get to know that this one, now we have not been giving them business. Anytime they are going down, you know that these are because mainly these are trading with the government. So you would be knowing where the dates are. Where do you go? You go to ERA, you go to Ministry of Energy, you know where to go. So as he said, we will hold you responsible in the unlikely event that we don't recover this money.
Power to both UMEME and UETCL where UMEME would not reach. The losses for UMEME have been catered for by the regulator error in the tariff. The losses for UETCL had not been provided. So when we sell to them, they had taken it upon themselves to make deductions from our invoices. We have made this complaint to the regulator, and he has made it clear to them that they need to pay us, but UETCL has not been paying us for the losses they make. So we are actually pushing the regulator to help us and include these amounts in the tariff.
Mr. Karamaji, we are talking about a report of the Auditor General for the year ended June 2024. June last year. This audit was done in December, right? Am I right? That's when the report came out, December last year. But you had the engagement with the audit team before. How can you be telling us that up to now you are still engaging? you have an agreement with UETCL. I believe it provides for arbitration, mediation, and dispute resolution. A dispute arises over your invoices worth 21.6 billion. Okay? And you're saying they have unilaterally decided to withhold your money. Are you a serious manager? It's over a year now since you closed that financial year.
Unfortunately, we are dealing with the related government agencies, and the only person who can be able to help us enforce this is the regulator. Otherwise, the other options of like not selling to them power and putting the country in a blackout is not an option.
But you, away from the regulator, you even have your minister. You're in the same ministry.
Yes.
You even have the same PS, the chief administrative officer of the CEO is what? Chief executive officer of the ministry. You have the political head of the ministry. It's over a year since you closed this. And I believe, I know, not believe, that these invoices do not relate to June 2024. These are invoices relating to way before June. Show me efforts that you have made to recover this money. Show me here.
Chair, we will show you the efforts of the letters, but can I also ask the head of commercial who
Oh,
has
yes.
been in these meetings to say something on this issue?
Yes, let him tell us. Be on record, head commercial. Actually, you're head of poverty.
When UETCL withheld our amount, of course, it was not in compliance with the PSA. We disputed that, and we issued a notice of dispute. And this being a technical dispute by nature, the matter was referred to ERA because we are both licensed. UETCL and UETCL were licensed by the regulator. So the first recourse was to refer the matter to the regulator. So we've held a number of meetings with the regulator to try and resolve that matter. And at some point, the regulator provided around 7 billion towards this cause. Okay. Then subsequently, he didn't provide. So we've been having several engagements. The last meeting we had, the regulator tasked UETCL and UETCL to agree on a methodology for determining the evacuation losses. These losses are incurred as we evacuate power from the embedded generators through the distribution network. So the technical team that was around towards end of Feb. So the team is actually trying to review that to come up with a report which will be presented to the regulator, and then the regulator will determine after that. So we hope by around mid next month we will have the report out, because it also involves collecting data from the
You see, as it comes out, don't forget that we are crossing into another financial year. And it does not reflect well on your abilities and competences. Do you have a board? Oh, it's your report direct to the ministry? Oh, okay. Minister of Energy. Have you brought this to the attention of the minister?
Yes, even at the AGM, these issues were raised because the financial statements were considered at the AGM that sat after the audit ended. We raised all these issues, including the issue of Umeme not paying us on the account of not collecting from MDAs. So it's an issue that is known in the ministry, and we continue to push for these issues to be resolved.
What has been the minister's response? Because we are going to ask the minister to be here.
The appeal, I mean, at the AGM, it was very clear that we were told to keep pushing until Umeme pays these amounts and UETCL. And for UETCL, we've gone to the...
You were told by who? I want you to
by the
emphatically
shareholders, by the shareholders.
Okay, who are the shareholders?
Minister of Finance and Minister of Energy. Minister of Energy being the majority shareholder.
That's what they told you. You have the minutes.
Yes, of the
Will you
AGM.
share with us by Friday, please?
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I am boiling. This meeting is adjourned to 6th next week on Friday. You will be here with your ministers. Please come back with all the documents that we want. Before you leave, let me have the documents that we sent for.